Yay. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, they're gonna throw you in jail.
Yeah. All right.
Did we historically, before we started meetings, always give a pledge of allegiance to the flag?
We do.
We do it in a lot of other clubs.
Yeah.
Do we do it here?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
I was gonna say.
Yeah, it's an age thing, George.
What, doing the pledge or not remembering?
Not remembering.
And I want you guys to know I'm a new rookie again,
That's okay.
so I gotta relearn everything, so.
It's okay. So do we.
Jack, that's no different than what it's been the last 7 years for me anyway.
You weren't paid for it today.
Reteaching.
I didn't, so you're like years ahead of me, Jack.
All right, let's do the
All right,
pledge.
so
Speaking of that,
We should have flags all over the place.
Yeah, well, we-
Just find the flag.
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And you know, for some reason, I always tend to want to say.
Play ball?
Amen. Yeah, me too.
Well, the electricians, I don't know, they haven't finished the goddamn remodel here. Number one, they didn't even put new, fresh, thick covers on.
I don't think there's.
Number two is they missed a screw here on top on this switch here, because I was here one day trying to use the Wi-Fi, looking through the window. I saw the electrician going back over here and working on that switch over there.
Yeah, I don't think they've been doing anything in here for at least a couple of weeks. I don't know what's going on.
Well, what have they done? I mean, what?
Well,
Lights?
Lights, new
Yeah.
lights.
It looks like that.
I think it's a fresh coat of paint.
Maybe the fourth.
What's with this outlet here? What's going
I
on?
don't know.
They're
That's the way
doing
it's
stuff?
been forever.
and then you look at it, they put in new plugs in the floor.
Oh, yeah, new.
Yeah.
They
They
took out
did
the
do
brass
that.
one, yeah.
Yeah, they did.
The ones. that
They
were
had
on
brass
there
cover or something.
messed
Right.
up. Yeah, so I think that's the.
So we're saying that maybe they did something with the tile, but I don't.
I don't know.
No,
That's what I'm
no, they
saying.
did. They replaced
Grouting.
half the tile in the living
Maybe
room.
they cleaned the
and
grout.
kept-
Oh, yeah.
And then put some new wood, simulated wood in the other part of it.
Uh.
I can't remember. Oh, no, it looks like they did, I can't tell if they did the flooring in the library. I don't think they did.
I think they were supposed to.
Oh, they were supposed to, maybe they did. I'm getting a reflection maybe showing the hall tile.
Well, I know they had all that out of there
Yeah.
at one time.
Yeah, okay, did they? Okay.
I heard that they haven't even ordered the new flooring yet.
Is that right? I'm not surprised.
Well, I heard that there were some issues about the flooring, that the girls, line dancers, were
Yes.
dancing in the gym floor, and they felt as though it was like tacky or something. It was like Velcro.
Well,
It was not, and so they said, no, we don't want that or whatever. So I think somebody, I heard that maybe Sandy
Well, it
Jones.
was supposed to be what they call a floating floor. You
Yeah.
know, it's the
Yeah.
backing on the back of the.
Yeah. Mhm.
And it wasn't.
Hmm.
And it makes a difference when they're dancing on a hard
Yeah.
surface like that.
Oh,
They
yeah.
could dancer, but it'd be torture
The
for legs
core, yeah,
and
tear
feet.
up their knees and everything. Yeah.
So, now they're supposed to be putting the right stuff in.
Oh.
Like when we had our flooring done, and we got the one with the, you know, so it
Yeah.
floats. It floats.
Well, they wouldn't use the entire club, that whole room for just dancing all the time. You have lots of other activities going on,
Understand.
whatever. So to have just a total continuous floating floor, I don't like floating floors because they sound funky. Have you ever walked across a floating floor opposed to a real floor?
George, this doesn't float, so.
What's that?
I said, this doesn't float. So I wouldn't know the difference
I like
anyway.
the floor in the casino at Avalon. It's 18 inches deep with different layers. One layer is just crushed paper. And then they've got all these other cork and all these other
Really?
materials. So people, so you can dance for 6 hours and not get tired.
Wow.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it just takes up the,
Oh, geez.
all the,
Wow.
you know.
It really does help with dancing,
Yeah,
a lot of
it makes a
dancing.
difference. It makes a
I
difference.
wasn't aware of that, yeah.
Yeah. it makes a
Okay,
difference.
yeah,
Okay, let's get back to business here.
Back to
We call the roll.
Yeah, we got it.
We got it? Got the roll call. Secretary's report.
Anybody have any heartburn on the, was it,
On the minutes.
yeah, the minutes from 5/21?
Anyone?
Anyone?
No.
Okay,
I moved it, I can't do
okay.
that.
I'll move that the minutes be accepted.
Second.
Yeah, all those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Treasurer's report.
Treasurer's report's the same as last week. Funds are the same, $425.66 in the checking account and $50 in cash.
Got it. We don't usually vote to approve that report, should we?
What?
The treasurer's report.
Oh, yeah. I moved it, we accept treasurer's report.
Okay, I'll second.
I'm,
All in favor?
I,
Aye.
Aye. Okay, now we're legal. All right, discussion. During the 528 search session, okay, Sam Rojas, a Solera office staff member, and Cassandra Reese, Securitas supervisor, received training on the Solera MCOM radio system. Gave them radios and showed them how to use them. Ray will talk about the progress of transitioning Solera staff on the use of the radios.
Oh, I will. Oh, yeah.
That's what it says.
We, so we trained, well, we trained them.
Yeah.
We trained both Susan and then Kim,
yeah, I saw that over.
and then we trained Sam, and now we trained Cassandra. I've been monitoring the radio. I haven't heard anybody else use the radio.
No, I've heard someone, but it's not in here.
Really?
I still get, yeah.
You sure it's not,
It's not a strong signal, but I can hear them and understand what they're saying.
because I thought I heard somebody and then I realized that I had it on two channels instead of one. So the people I was hearing was actually on the other channel and I was
Oh,
freaking
well,
out.
yeah, but yeah, with my radio, I can see which one is
Oh, okay.
active. And, yeah,
Maybe the sensitivity, that's why your squelches. Maybe you need to.
well,
turn it.
that's possible. I could,
I haven't heard, has anybody ever heard any kind of other?
I haven't had it on that much
Yeah,
the past week, so
I honestly haven't.
I try to leave it on as much as I can, but I'm always in and out of the
yeah,
house, so.
well, that's it. I leave mine on, but like I say, I'm in and out. Most of them.
I hear somebody chunking the repeater and clicking it,
Yep.
clicking it off.
That happens often.
So I don't know if they're actually, testing it to see if it works or if it's one of us doing it, I don't know. So hopefully next week when we do our drill, they'll participate. One second, Jack. Cassandra sent me a note because I sent her a picture of what it looks like, the mobile unit to put
Mobile
inside
unit.
the cars. I sent it to her. She said she sent it off to her division supervisors or division command, whatever the case may be. So she's waiting for Arnell ear and ear for putting it onto the radio car or patrol car.
Patrol.
well, go ahead and key one right now, see if they're on.
What, key it and say
Yeah,
what?
yeah, go ahead and.
Because they should be.
Yeah, right, no, I mean, they were given to have them on. Go ahead and just key and see if you can catch Cassandra.
Solera Security, this is Ray G.
I didn't switch. Of course, I'm sitting right here, so.
Solera Security, are you on the air?
Yeah.
Hi, Patrol. This is just the radio club. We wanted to see if you guys are on the air and listening to the radio. We're just seeing if you were there, but thank you for responding. There you go.
Okay, all right, that's good.
Copy. Cool.
All right,
They need some training, that's all.
They got it. Yeah, oh, yeah.
okay, yeah. didn't know if after they have a weekend or so, they have a couple days off, they may forget to turn it back on.
I'm
You know,
thinking they
it's a
could,
thing you get used to using.
Yeah,
that was the patrol unit, so I'm thinking that they leave the one at the gate on.
On, yeah.
Leave it in the
Okay.
charger, because we talked about, some of the people are asking, can you leave the radio on inside the charger? You can do that.
Yep.
It'll keep your battery charged up, but when you want to talk on it, you have to pull it out of the charger.
Okay, yeah, okay, so I can actually leave it in my
Right.
charger and leave it on,
that's good to know.
and just to monitor.
Yeah,
And then
so you can
obviously
listen,
pull it out when I'm transmitting. Right.
correct.
Okay.
Because if you
I did
transmit,
not know that.
if you transmit when you're got it in the holder, it's gonna be drawing a lot of current, and it ruins the batteries.
Oh, really?
And
Okay,
also
yeah,
the charger's not built to take that kind of current.
yeah, right,
Yeah.
right. Okay.
There's kind of all kinds of things that'll ruin the radios and stuff, so just take it out. We'll leave it at that. It'll ruin your radio.
Sometimes with the instructions, they don't tell you that.
Yeah.
With the instruction, I'm surprised that these manufacturers don't
They don't want you to.
have a basic
Well-
list of,
Just think about it. The more times you do that, the more radios they can set.
oh, you're right, Nick, that is how it goes, yeah.
Okay.
But hopefully, like I said, everybody participates.
Well, on that note, the office staff, they have radios also,
They
right?
got 3 radios now.
3 rows in this, so they should leave theirs on.
They,
They should
That's
monitor.
what we advised them to do.
that's what we advise them to do, but
Yeah, and so I'm wondering if that shouldn't be, they can't talk well either. If that should not be at least a suggestion that they leave it on, and then maybe all of us should like get on the air in the morning at some point and say KZ6, ZMH monitoring, wait for a response, just so we all know that we're all on the radio monitoring.
the one thing I wanted to, the one thing you don't have to, on our repeater, you don't have to put your call sign out, just give your name out.
Oh, okay.
Because that's a different license. It's not a ham license. So you don't worry about sending, just say, hey, this is Ray, and if there's multiple people that are Rays, and we have to go to the resort of Ray G and Ray J or whatever. But yeah, I agree. We should do, weekly checks, morning checks. We also should have somebody constantly listening to the radio, assign somebody, rotate it through the whole team to listen to the radio. Some people can only do it for an hour, and some people can do it for 3 hours. We're just gonna have to devise a schedule and then make sure somebody from the club is listening that way. If security,
Well, I'm not going anywhere. I can leave mine on all the time.
yeah,
Well, I've made it a habit to have my radio on and take it with me wherever I go,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I need to
And
start.
that's a good idea too.
I need to put one in my
Your handheld?
office.
My handheld.
Oh, okay, because
I don't,
do you have a mobile
well, I've got
at the house?
I got a system that I can rig my handheld in my car with a mag mount.
Right, yeah, right. Okay.
But, it's not a permanent installation, so I don't want to be putting it on, taking it off. I use it for when I travel
Yeah.
mostly. But when I'm just around the area here, I just have this clipped into my little pocket by my door. And it usually picks up pretty much everything that goes on.
You missed us last week for breakfast, right?
Yeah.
Friday. I'm going out the gate and I see this guy with a mobile antenna on top of his SUV. His name is Joe Vecca. And he's going to meet us at Cafe Royale. So I passed him halfway down the freeway there. He was up ahead of me. I get next to him. I roll down my window. I keep a pair of binoculars in my car. I pull up next to him. And he looks over at me once quickly, looks again.
Yeah, that's surprising that he showed up.
Yeah.
Everything cool with him?
I didn't make it last week because my daughter's car broke down.
Yeah.
That's right, you weren't there, yeah.
Yeah, she had, apparently, just to let you guys know, if you get water inside your gas tank, it plugs up the filter, the fuel filter, and kills the gas going into the car.
Really? Is that what?
Yeah. It's not like a little bit, it's you're talking about a lot of water. So she gassed up over at the Arco gas station because she works in Moreno Valley over at the hospital. And that Arco station right down the street, she went over there and got it. So,
Gasoline's lighter than water, right? Usually, like if you
Right,
have
yeah.
gasoline spill on a pond,
Right.
gasoline's on top, right?
Right.
So the water would want to go down straight to
Right.
where the
intake is.
the intake is,
Yep.
through the pump and into the filter and get to the filter first.
It would have been $180 tow because she was in the Badlands.
Fire patrol to main gate testing.
Oh, they're using it.
Ooh.
That's cert one, right?
Yeah,
Yeah. Checking to see if they got their radio on.
I'm just gonna key.
what was I talking about?
$180 tow.
Oh, it's $180 tow.
From the
And like,
Badlands?
yeah, from the Badlands. But since I had AAA,
Yep.
my daughter didn't have AAA. I keep telling her.
That
But yeah.
one tow is more than.
Oh,
pays.
yeah. Yeah. So anyways, that was my story. And that's why I didn't make it on Friday. I was ready to go out the door and I got the phone call.
It was a perfect drive, nonetheless.
I was
all
dependent
you
on
could eat
you
there.
because I was waiting to get your.
I saw the email. I said,
I was trying to log on Zoom
yeah,
and it wasn't there.
because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Sorry. So anyways, that's, the next question I have, the board or for the team is we had talked about this before, giving radios to the actual board members. That way they keep in tune to what's going on.
Well, I know that they've got a new board now, so maybe things have changed, but before they don't want anything, they didn't want anything to do with it. So.
Are we still interested in giving it to them though?
Ronnie has you, you're ready.
Yeah, that's right, and Pat's got,
That has Dave.
has Dave. And who else is it?
But are we still interested in doing that
Peter
though?
and Greg. Greg is,
Greg has already got a radio.
yeah, Greg's on the radio.
But that's the older radio he's got.
Yeah,
Is?
Yeah, I don't think he has one of the new ones.
I think so.
Does he?
I think we,
Did
gotta-
we
we
get him
gotta
one?
find
He's been out of commission for quite a while now. So I don't know. if
do we still want to do that though, as far as
what, radios?
Do we
Yeah.
think it would be
Board.
beneficiary?
for the board?
I'd wait until the new board gets on board right now. I'm talking to the old board.
Well,
would make
I agree with
sense.
that. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
do we as a group still interested in doing that? If not, then we'll just drop it.
Well, we could ask them if they think that that they would use them, that they would be involved. If they're not, then there's no reason to give them a radio.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
All right.
okay. All right, performance report on Mount Etna repeater.
Yeah, that was really sketchy in the early morning when you first started, Nick. Lost a lot of you at
Lost
first,
sight,
and that
yeah.
seemed like after the repeater warmed up or whatever, as Bill mentioned, he was losing it, I was too, we all were.
Well,
I was losing you, but I'm on the radio.
Trying to lose this.
I was losing it.
I think
Didn't have my coffee that morning. It's like,
historically that repeater has issues when it's raining. or
any kind of moisture.
Yeah, any kind of moisture. And I think we had a marine layer
Mhm.
rolling in that morning.
Oh, then let me, are you talking about maybe using another repeater? We would not want to use our unit here.
Well, the
Because
thing is,
everybody else would
right.
be on, right?
Right.
Security and everything, they'd be listening, they wouldn't need to hear that chatter, right? So we would not want to go to cert one.
and then plus we're trying to interact with the rest of the area clubs.
Yeah, right, okay, all right, that, okay, yeah. So that's the object of switching off of
Right.
and to something else. So everybody else outside could engage. Okay, I'm with you.
I forgot,
I'll
somebody,
take cert
I
one,
think,
okay.
Sam, NME was saying that they're looking at another radio or another repeater. They're trying to get permission because it's also, that repeater is the main repeater for the county,
Yes.
County Emergency Management Department. The
Which
racing.
one? Keller?
Edna,
I-
not Edna.
I'm sorry, we're using it, yeah, right.
So that is supposed to be the one that's covering the Banning Pass area. So we had an emergency, the county of Riverside, through their Macy's people, would be using that frequency to cover any kind of emergency within the valley. And because it's not working well, they have been looking for another repeater. And Sam kind of hinted that they have a new repeater that they're trying to get permission from, but they haven't got anything. He kind of said, we're still working on it.
Which Sam we talking about? Not Sam.
No,
No, I'm sorry. Sam from the radio club, Spark.
Oh,
Joe, Becca's buddy there.
Yeah.
That's Radio Spark.
maybe we should just kind of hold off until we see what happens with that.
Well, I've been holding off and
Okay.
nothing's been happening. So I think it's up to us to get our, act together. And then Aries, the Aries group is using the repeater over on Santiago Peak. And that's a fairly good repeater. I've sat inside the middle of my house with this radio and hit the repeater and checked in. But sometimes when I move to another area inside the room, it's kind of hit and miss. The best way to do it is to stand outside and hit that repeater.
I think that applies to all the repeaters.
If the repeater was giving us heartburn or whatever, when we key out, you've got, when you first key out, it wakes the repeater up and then takes your information and then immediately transmits it back out to everybody. But would we within Solera probably hear each other, even if the repeater was or not working? Would we hear?
No,
Because what you're hearing, when I'm talking on the repeater, what you're hearing is the retransmission from that repeater.
But let's say if the repeater went out right now, is the first, you have simplex, you have simplex part of it. Is that simplex? Like if the repeater went out right now and you keyed, would I be able to hear you key if we're in close proximity?
No.
It's just like your router going out in your house.
That's what the codes are for.
Cable.
Oh,
If your router goes out, nobody can hear you.
Okay. So it's only keyed to a repeater. It's not.
That's it.
Okay.
Well, now your signal goes out. Okay, so when you key down on this, your signal goes out and it hits all the repeaters, everything. But the only one that's going to pick up your transmission to resend it is the one that has the same code.
Right. Okay. But
so
well, all right. Then let me go back and ask. I think maybe
In an emergency, the standard protocol, if you're using repeaters and repeater goes down, the standard protocol is to go to the back end or the transmit end of the repeater.
Okay. The other. Okay.
Which is going to be 147.915.
Which would be different from when we key.
Correct.
I mean, I know the one we key is sending out
That's why
wake up signal.
that's when you see the numbers for a repeater, it'll say negative offset or a positive offset.
Yeah, right, yeah.
So what it means by offset is the frequency is just offset of what you hear.
Yeah.
So it can talk to the repeater. Because if you talk on the same frequency, all you're going to be doing is jamming yourself.
Yeah.
So if you're talking and they're on the same channel, same frequency numbers, you're going to be jamming. So what they did, the protocol is you send it, in this case for VHF, it's 0.6 megahertz down or up for the frequencies.
I've got to go back and review it before I ask another question because you're a little ahead of me. I got to get more background on it first.
You've got one frequency going in and you got one frequency going out. Okay, channels and frequencies are different. Maybe that's what's confusing you. Channels is what we call a radio frequency, a given frequency, like cert 1 is a channel. The actual frequency is 461.425.
Okay, I understand that.
So going into the repeater, if I'm going to Mount Etna, for an example, fictitious signal is going to be 123.000. Okay, going into the repeater.
Right.
Coming out, the repeater is 123.600.
600.
So it's completely different.
Right, yeah.
Okay, so if you're talking on this frequency, the 000, nobody in 006 is going to hear you. okay? Until this repeater takes that information and sends it back on 0.600. Does that make sense?
Okay, yeah, sort of. Okay, yeah, I'm getting closer now.
Well, now, the thing of it is though, if we're using the repeater and it's fouled up and quits working, if we go to the output frequency,
Yeah.
then we can communicate on
That's
that
it,
on
okay.
simplex.
That's
That's
the
simplex.
simplex that they're talking about.
Right.
The output. Okay,
The
that's
output.
what, okay. So that would not be anything that we would key. You know, I mean, keying that is not gonna do anything. We would actually have to have that programmed in.
Mhm.
You would
Go to
go
that-
to it,
That
yes.
offset.
Yes.
And a lot of people, what they do is when they program their radios for repeaters, and if it's mostly for emergency procedures,
Mhm.
they'll have the repeater and then they have what they call the talk around.
Yeah.
The talk
right.
around is the back end of it.
It's the next channel in.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
you,
so that's.
It's the output channel.
That's what I guess technically we should be doing.
Yeah, I want to find
Baby
out.
steps.
I understand what you're talking about there, but I want to find out more, like you mentioned this 147.195, I think you said.
The .915, yeah, that's the Modena.
Yeah, okay. When I am on the Ukaipa net, after their regular net, they say, okay, let's go to simplex. Well, I didn't know what that was or how to change my radio to do it.
right.
So I'd like to find out those things.
Those you're gonna have to talk to the Ukaipa Club because they might use the standard output of the repeater, or they might have a separate. In fact, our club has a separate channel,
Yes.
simplex channel, that's on VHF. It's 146.550. That's our simplex channel. The problem was that a lot of people had their handheld radios and the simplex wasn't doing well because our radios were only doing about 5 watts and people were sitting next to their computers or something that's got a lot of metal, so it's absorbing all the energy and it wasn't going out. Right, George?
That's the Solera.
Remember, because
Yeah.
we had a lot of problems getting a hold of you. And that's why we switched over to a repeater because that was a lot stronger signal for you.
So, but we should have a policy that if we're not communicating on the repeater, that we go over to the simplex.
We had a policy, but it's kind of lapsed.
Okay, so are we gonna put that back in servicing? Because I don't know how to change the radio to go to simplex.
Yeah, we're gonna, well, the one thing you do, it's already in your radio. It's already set as Solera on your radio, but just go over to the channel that's been designated for simplex for Solera.
Let me back up. You're talking about Solera or whatever, and I'm just, sometimes I'm thinking about stuff and I'm not hearing what you guys are talking about.
Yeah.
I can't-
Multitasking, I know, I hear you.
I don't know what that is caused.
Lack of concentration.
You know, I mean, I can only singularly
ADHD.
focus on one thing.
Yeah, I'm saying.
You know, and I hate it in a classroom environment. You start learning stuff and you'll be writing something down. When I'm writing it down, I'm not even hearing,
Yeah.
I'm not understanding. I have to, shit, what did he just say while I was writing down?
What did you
this
just say
report?
now?
Yeah, but anyway, this Solera frequency that we have,
Mm-hmm,
is that on a repeater?
No.
No, that's just a simplex.
that's simplex.
Well, then would we, okay, but you want to use a repeater when,
Remember we used to use that. We used to have simplex. When we
Yes.
used to do the net way back when, 3,
Right,
4
yeah,
years
right.
ago,
yeah.
we used to
use
do
that.
the Solera.
Yeah.
And then we had a lot of problems. People are going like, I can't hear you.
Oh, really?
I remember Jack was having a lot of static,
Yeah.
but now we found out now, 3, 4 years down the line, it's because we're sitting next to our computers or electronic device that was actually
Was
interfering.
that what would cause the problem? Some
Mhm.
heavy duty electronics near us?
Electronics, metal.
Yeah.
And the thing about these walls, they got stucco, right?
Yeah.
It's all chicken wire.
Oh, yeah, right, exactly, yeah.
So what is chicken wire
It's
around
a,
a signal?
Faraday
Faraday
cage.
cage.
What's that called? A Faraday cage?
It's a Faraday cage.
So, yeah, there's,
Not a Faraday cage.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot of things that'll affect, basically how these radios work, or any radio, actually. I actually, just watched a video on YouTube yesterday. I don't know if anybody's familiar with it, but Mr. Carlson, has Mr. Carlson's lab.
From QST?
No, this is, on YouTube.
Yeah, but
He does several videos.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he does a lot of videos. but
Okay, he's an older
He's up in
guy.
Canada.
He's the guy with the blue shirt. Okay, there's another guy that I watched. He was just advertised on QST, but he does videos. He's an elderly gentleman, white hair, white beard.
He's kind of.
He's got a very good way he talks. It's very, you sit there and you listen, and it's easy to.
Well, this
Very
is
fluent.
this guy. But he's electronics guru kind of guy. He's just, it's
So
not just radios.
Is he on every day? Is this guy?
You can get him anytime. It's on demand.
Yeah. Yeah.
You just gotta look for his.
You gotta
I'll put it
find
out.
his-
It's on YouTube?
Yeah. Yeah,
But he
I'll
had
send out the link.
He had an in-depth video on detecting RF signals and interruptions and stuff like that. He was showing, he makes his own detectors and makes his own equipment. He was showing one that how strong just a radio receiver sitting there, and how as he brought it closer, you could hear all this noise. He says that's all the function of the components inside the radio itself. Okay, and he was showing how to mitigate some of it, you know, on how to get rid of it, and or to even just find what it is. And he said just the little chargers that we use for our phones and radios and stuff. He was showing a difference between a linear one and square wave.
Yeah, sine wave, square wave and stuff.
It's just, it was amazing. I was just going, oh my God. Everything in your house that's plugged in injects noise into the air and into the everything.
Share that link with us so you can find it.
Oh yeah, I'll when I go home, I'll send you the link to it.
That's interesting to know.
But some of it, he goes into a lot of depth, but some of his.
George, you don't have to watch it. Don't worry about it.
Well, but he explains things very well. He really does. So, but it was an interesting one, just us meeting
Well,
today.
we're waiting for somebody to develop a camera with a lens. No, you have a lens that will look for you for ultraviolet. Okay, you get a lens that can look for radio signals. Really.
Wow, I don't.
That would scare the heck out of me, I
Yeah.
think.
Oh yeah, guaranteed. Yeah.
I would be
wouldn't want to
scared.
see that.
Yeah, no, and you can have a dial and start looking for lower frequencies or whatever, and it will show you, hopefully, as you turn your dial, you see different stuff. And you know what was actually in this room.
That's what I'm saying.
George, I think you should work on patenting that right now.
I got to
So that you can profit from it when it's actually.
Actually, there is some technology pretty close to that.
Is there?
Yeah.
What they call the sniffers when spies are looking.
Yeah, well, he was
where
talking
they're-
about those too.
Yeah.
Same kind of
So
thing.
basically, you can go around a room and it's multispectral, so they go everything from AM radio to super
Yeah.
UHF, and
Okay.
it'll say, oh, there's something over there that's listening to you or talking to you.
Oh, there's already a patent on it then. Okay.
Well, that was what.
But you can't see it.
No, you can't.
You
You can't.
So you still have a chance, George.
Okay, all right. I gotta take that and program it into certain frequencies, create a certain image, okay.
Well, I would think that, well, as far as your eyeballs are concerned, you wouldn't be able to detect it unless it was in the light spectrum, I think. Spectrum light, but as far as radio waves are concerned, I don't know that,
You know what radiation is?
You-
You know what radiation is? It's a radio wave.
it's a radio wave, yeah.
I don't want to see the radiation that's around me right now.
I know how to design a system that takes a single spot and converts it into a two-dimensional image.
Oh, yeah?
I could,
Wow.
Lasers.
well, yeah, essentially a laser scanner that creates an image. You could do with the radio waves, same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
You just have a detector, you can mechanically scan it and convert that into a two-dimensional image.
And that's sort of the same idea, people that, if they put a tracking device on you, they know where you're going. And that's
Well,
sort of the same idea.
well, that emits radio waves,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
That's
Oh,
what it-
I just read something this morning in the news.
That's a little different technology.
A guy came in to rob a bank or whatever, or came in to rob some store, and the guy put a GPS tracker
Oh, and-
in
yeah.
$300 cash,
Yeah.
and they caught him a few minutes later right down the street. I didn't even think about that. Yeah, well, yeah.
His hose house.
Yeah.
And it's O's
His
house.
house.
He was at the strip club.
All right, let's see. Let's get, all right. So we
Oh, yeah, I listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 repeaters. So those that are knowing how to program your radios, explore these channels. They're listed.
I've
So
got 3 of them in my radio already.
yeah, I have
2 others.
them all in my radio actually. That's the only reason why I knew that they were, because I was sitting at my desk talking on it. And
Yeah.
these are all reachable. So so give it a shot.
You know what? That would be a good tabletop lesson here. Go out, and then we'll experiment with one at a time.
Yep. We can do that.
All right. Next item, ideas for the Solera Gazette.
I've been writing stuff for the
Oh,
Gazette.
yeah, you-
Yeah.
And
Good job there, Jim,
I-
right?
I'm running out of ideas,
Yeah, no.
so I need help.
Well, that's where I was, you know.
Well, there's a question I had along those lines. Is there a specific time to renew membership or sign up for membership?
For us,
Yeah, for anybody?
well, we usually.
Oh, yeah, we do once a
in
year.
January,
Yeah.
yeah, January. But, I mean, if somebody wants to join, you know, halfway through the year or something, we can prorate the dues or whatever, so. Yeah, sign up, we'll take sign ups anytime.
Well,
Make
when it
arrangements.
comes around near January, we ought to have a good promotional
Campaign.
thing about, yeah, it's
Right.
time to sign up or
Yeah.
something like that, you know, even though you can sign up anytime, but.
Okay. Any ideas for the radio club as far as?
Have you been pretty much offering the last few,
Yeah.
2 or 3 months here?
Yeah.
Nick, you,
Well,
Ever
when
since he
I-
dropped out.
who else,
Since
you know,
he took my
I kind
place.
of perused through it kind of quickly there. And who's been actually doing the authoring? You have, I know, you have.
I
too?
did when I was secretary.
You did? Okay, all
When
right.
he became secretary.
And
he
then
took
maybe
it.
Dennis has before also.
Right.
Dennis has done some in the
I
past.
haven't gotten involved with it. Bill, have you gotten involved with authoring anything for the Gazette,
No,
for the radio? Okay. Anybody else? Is it pretty much you 3 then?
Pretty
Dennis?
much it.
Oh, how about Dave King? I can't remember if he's authored anything.
Don't think
Nope.
so.
Nobody has to
Back out
hop.
The wrong way again here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there we go.
Yeah, she's going back out the wrong way.
Yeah, I've seen people.
I've
do
did,
that.
yeah, I've seen it a couple times.
Anyway,
New residents, probably.
okay, no,
No, that's something that we haven't put any kind of requirement on or anything, you know.
Right.
No, we don't want anybody writing it. I'll gladly write the articles, but I just need ideas. Yeah.
yeah.
So if you guys got ideas, let me know. I kind of put you on the spot by saying,
Okay.
give me
Okay,
an
yeah, no,
idea.
all right, that's a good idea, to try
I
to
think-
promote some ideas for the Gazette, help these guys. They
Right.
can actually do the authoring on it and.
Right. I'll do the research
Yeah.
and I'll send out this, since I got to put it out today or tomorrow to get it for the July article, right?
Yeah.
I want to do it on the AM radios, the frequencies that you go to, like KFI or
Oh,
KNX or stuff like that, for emergency broadcast and stuff like that.
Yeah, I especially need all that. Cause you know, all the stuff that you taught me, it's gone.
Well, that's if you're sitting at home, you don't even need this kind of radio. It's just the
Yeah.
radio, turning on your own AM radio and FM radio. So I'm researching that and I'm gonna put that for the July article. And then for the CERT, I'm doing heat exhaustion
Exhaustion, yeah, because.
What?
It's getting that time.
Heat
Oh,
exhaust-
exhaustion, yeah.
for the CERT article. But whatever you guys can think of ideas, you know, I got an email from Dennis, just as what you're talking about. He used to put those articles out. He was saying that he used to put out a newsletter, 1 to 2 page newsletter. So
In the Gazette?
he
Or
just said generically, newsletter. He said he had and he emailed it out to the people that were part of the CERT, our emergency, whatever it was here in Solera.
Well, Iraq,
Econ.
EPAC,
Right.
EPAC.
Whatever iteration it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he'd send out emails to everybody with these 1 to 2 page articles. And he wants to start that back up again.
Oh,
So
I didn't know that.
okay. I think he wants to start it back up with me writing it.
Oh, okay.
I'll start it up.
Yeah. I don't mind. I don't care, you know?
You're a good writer, Ray.
I don't know about that.
Well, I'm really
Yeah.
impressed.
Oh, you are,
with the
you
stuff
are,
generate.
right?
I sit there, I read it over and
No.
over again. I got so many
No.
stuff that I leave out or don't proof it right. And
That happens.
I'm like, I sound like a
No,
retard sometimes. And thanks
Wife-
though.
My wife acquired one of the gazettes from all the other
Oh,
HOAs
HOAs.
to see, and a couple of them were really, really thick and well. Now, I haven't gone through them to see if they have any stuff regarding any radio activity. I'll look and see and pass it back to you guys on any of the other associations. You know, I mean, Sun Lakes has got a big operation over there, and I would guess
But you know
maybe
what? I
in
went to
theirs-
their website because I was trying to find information about their ham club.
Yeah,
There's nothing listed there.
on the website?
Yeah. Did you
On what?
on the Sun City website
No, I
or
have.
Sun City, Sun Lakes?
Sun Lakes? I think just like our website is that some of that information isn't out there for the general public. You gotta sign in, you know, your
Probably.
account,
Password, the whole bit.
password and everything.
3/4 of our stuff you gotta sign in for, about 1/4 of it you can get in without a password.
Because I was checking around with all these different groups. I know Highland Spring or the Highland
up
Springs
there.
Village,
Yeah,
they've got a club up there, but and then there's one in Banning off Sunset, I think it is.
Yeah.
And it is,
That's where they had to see her,
oh, it's when we went for the CERT
cert-
class,
cert deal.
Yeah.
The cert class, yeah.
where we were victims. We played victims.
that's right.
Anyways,
Okay.
give me ideas. Just send it to me on email, or if you think of something when you're sitting around saying, "Hey, Ray, here's an idea," I'll jot it down.
Okay. Build a training schedule for 2021.
Still working on
We've
that.
got a couple of things there. Is there anything,
One thing that we talked about is, you weren't here, but we're talking about for our training, you know how we had a training session during our club meetings? We're gonna have that training session again, but we're gonna limit it down to about 30 minutes at the most.
So what's it gonna be on?
Well, and that's
various,
what we're talking about. What are we gonna have it on? So my idea was to take, because everybody here has already got their technician's license. We can go and try to, get everybody upgraded to a general. And so what we do is we get, the books from Gordon West. The guy is pretty good about explaining things, and it's got very short summaries on the questions that are going to be on the test. And then we take that question and we kick it around in the group. And because a lot of times when we study just the answer, the question and the answer. But now we're going to study the question, the answer, and why the answer is related to the question. So hopefully we can retain a little bit more of the information that we're kind of shoving out.
That would be very, very good. Absolutely. When I go through these tests, when I was taking the tech, they'd ask you a question and you pick out the answer, but sometimes you didn't go through why the other 2 or 3 answers would not be relevant, because do you understand what the real answer is, George? It's because of this, and therefore A and B wouldn't make any sense, right?
Right.
And that's really good for learning. I think that would be useful maybe for training, maybe. I just have the tech license. I could step up to the next one if I wanted to study for it. And I'd be a candidate for that kind of a program here in the radio class.
The one thing,
Help me, groom me to get to the next level. And
Right.
maybe I could want to get into HV, into the upper frequencies.
right, HF frequencies, right. So you can go around the world.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
Well, what I personally would need would be, how does this work?
Yeah.
How do I program this? How do I change channels? And how how do I keep from hitting the wrong damn button and going off in the netherworld
Mhm.
somewhere?
Jack, I wanted to ask that
That's
too,
what
but
I-
I was afraid to. Thank you.
Well, I can do it without embarrassment because I sort of been out of the nether, you know.
No.
for 12
Everybody's
months.
got the same issue. Everybody's got the same problem. I still have problems programming radios.
Yeah,
You
and
know
it's-
what? You know what? Jack has got a lot of metal in his spine. He's got a long couple of long rides. Hook those two
You can
rides
hook
up
me
or
up,
whatever,
Jack.
and he could be a walking transmitter or something.
I don't know if we want that kind of.
A
Don't
repeater.
get too close, 'cause I got these lightning bolts that come out.
Keep them out of the rainstorms, thunderstorms.
Yeah, training for a general, that'd be interesting.
Yeah.
That's,
And then the other thing that we talked about is the Aries protocol, because we have the Aries book that we're supposed to have as far as knowledge wise.
Right.
That's in case you guys want to be, active in Aries. And then the other one we talked about was skill building drills or not drills, topics. Prime example, Bill built an antenna. So he could go over that as far as talking about that. We can have somebody teach us how to build other types of antennas or soldering. I hate soldering. I suck at
I
soldering.
can do soldering good.
Yeah.
I did that all my career, so.
Even in high school, I suck at it. So even recently, as of last week when I was trying to solder something together, I suck at it.
It's tricky.
It's
tricky.
I always get a cold
A
joints.
question, just backing up to the testing and then such and such. Between this website that Dennis has set up for Radio 101, whatever, do we have anything on the websites anywhere for listing all of us radio club members and where we are in terms of our license? George is a tech and Jack is a tech and whatever, and Nick is a general and Dave is a general and
I'm an admiral.
whatever. Do we have any category
I don't think
that
we
that
have.
show us
Anything.
who is what degree or whatever?
No.
And but yet there is something, I would like to be interested in doing it, but I don't want to try to learn the whole damn book. I would condone the knowing all the questions and the answers. So I can get through, and then get into my next license and work in conjunction with that. Can you refresh my memory who it was that had just the questions and answers for the next level for the general?
I think it was
That's Gordon West.
McMillan.
It's Gordon West, was that what it was?
The books. Oh, you're talking about as far as a class out here?
Well, no,
As far as taking the test.
I heard one of you guys say, they have just actual questions and answers on,
On the internet, because that's how I studied for the tech.
right, and so I didn't want to necessarily do the $30 one that I did, where they kept asking you all these different questions. And I'm not interested in really knowing all 600 questions and 600 answers. So I'm trying to condense it, so my little memory here, so I can get to the next level.
That's what Gordon West does.
Gordon West?
Yeah,
Okay,
I'll bring the book in.
I'll look that up when I get.
No,
home.
I'll bring the book in next week. And then the books that I have. There's
Really?
little thin books and it's got color illustrations and stuff like that. And I can migrate that onto a PowerPoint presentation so we can set it up on the screen and take a look at it. All of us can put input to it.
It would be interesting
Yeah.
if we had a couple of guys that were interested in getting to the next level, and if we could maybe try to condense that within a month.
Mhm.
And then take it, I jacked around for a year and a half, I think, or a couple of years with Joe and Jim and who else, Dennis. I mean, Dennis was the first one, I think, that got his ticket. He went right ahead and rock and rolled. But Jim and we ended up going to class at the same time.
Mhm.
But we had been in class for about a year and a half, just going through the book and the questions, and I don't want to do that. And I saw little Richard Rary come in here, and he remember him, little small Richard? And he's moved out of state. And he came in and he went ahead and took one of these classes within about a month or so after getting involved. And he took one over in Calamasa. It was like a 2-day class or a half-a-day class.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
2
went and
days.
took his test, came right back with it. I thought, God, I've been jacking around for a year and a half.
Yeah, but those guys that do the 2-day test or the 2-day class,
Mhm.
that's all they do is just constantly go over the questions and answer
Right.
questions and answers.
Yeah.
Which is helpful because at least it stays in there for a little bit. And
Yeah.
because right after the second day, you take the test. So it's, And then the next week you forgot all about what you just.
Well,
I think now's a good time to take a quick break, guys.
All right.
You're still making decent coffee down here?
Oh, I haven't.
You know,
I go down and take a look.
Okay, he was asking about a database of people and all this. I don't know if anybody else has anything other than what Dave King had, but there's like scratch paper with people's names, and this one has addresses and this one has phone numbers. And I put everything I could find on one Excel spreadsheet to start with.
All right.
So I've got a starting point, and there's only like 10 or 12 people on there.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's
I
right.
don't know how many people have been
That's
involved
right.
in the club, but that's all I could find. So
That'd be
maybe
great
these
to have.
things like what kind of license people have, if you guys will come up with things that you want to track or that you have data.
The G drive. We have all that in the G drive.
Oh,
We got our rosters.
oh, okay.
Oh, the I asked about that last week. That's right. I gotta go to the G drive.
Yeah, all the stuff that's.
Yeah, okay, all
on
right,
stuff-
yeah.
All the stuff is different, but everything that's related, it's being archived and collected and stored on the G drive, accessible to everybody in the
Okay, so I
club.
don't need to do, so what I'm doing is redundant then?
Unless you want to keep it.
Take a look at what we have on the G drive and see if it's redundant
Yeah.
to what you have. You know, it's all listed there. All the stuff that I've collected in the 4 years I've been, what, 3 years?
Somewhere around there.
4 years. The 4 years I've been going here. I've collected all that, and I've everything from all the emails and all the different documents and all the different ideas. I put it onto the G drive.
Yeah, I've got an old one here and it's only got just our call sign. So no phone numbers or anything like that. But that'd be good to have
Yeah.
what you got. And you got, yeah.
Like
So-
I said, that's out there in the G drive.
So if it's not on the G drive and you got a better product, then put it on the G drive.
Okay, well, I don't know what the G drive is or how you get to it.
I've sent out quite a few notices, right? Okay, I'm just gonna, didn't I?
Well, I've heard lots about it, but I.
A G drive is a Google Drive.
It's a cloud.
It's a cloud account
Okay.
for the club. And we have a club Google account, and that club Google account allows us to have storage in the cloud, allows us to have an email, allows us to have a telephone number. So our club has a telephone number that people can call, and it's listed on the website, I think.
I believe it is.
Yeah. And all it is, it's a messaging service, so you can leave a message and the officers in the club can access it and pull out the information and stuff like
Okay,
that.
so how do you get to this Google Drive?
Good point, Bill. I was gonna say, one of the lessons could be, how do I navigate through the,
I've sent out the link to quite a few times. I'll send it out again. But all this is all on the cloud, and it's just one link.
Well, I've heard of it. I know about Google. So I'm that far along.
I'll send it out again.
All right.
I'll send it out
Sorry.
again. No, it's all right. Don't make me be sorry.
Must have just missed it.
I'm sitting there going, we're not trying to hide anything.
Probably when I've seen it, it wasn't relevant to me, so I didn't go any further, so.
It's like everybody's like that. You know, if it doesn't pertain to me, why read it? So I understand.
But I'm pretty sure you have to have a Google account.
I think everybody's got a Google account because well, I take it back.
no,
Everybody that has an Android
that's a Google, yeah.
has a Google account. If you're an Apple kind of guy, you're screwed. Oh, hi, Jared.
I got the Android. She's got the Chromebook.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, that's the only thing no,
But
I
have
don't think you need a Google
anyway,
account
because
either.
I
all you need is the link, because the link is,
use videos on YouTube.
the link or actual account is open to anybody. You don't have to have a Google account to get into it. But it's advantageous to have a Google account.
Oh, yeah, you tell me about people getting screwed with Apple. Bob Parker last week calls me, I'm like, because Bob's not into computers at all.
Rebecca. That was just George. He was talking smack about PC and I had to turn it off.
Okay, I have a finance committee meeting by 1 o'clock, so I have to do some studying before then. So can we move along?
Yep.
Sorry, Bill, okay, I digress.
All right, so As far as the training schedules.
We need to brainstorm it, come up with ideas.
Brainstorm ideas of what you would like to see training on,
Or what's listed is good enough.
or,
Yeah.
whatever. And we can add on to it as we go too,
Yeah.
because as we're doing the
Well,
training.
the thing is, the big complaint from a lot of people is that we didn't know week from week what we're gonna be trained on.
Right.
And a lot of times we got a busy life and we got other things to do and we don't
Sure.
wanna, spend our life here and not
Sure.
really learning anything. So if we have a schedule and we put it on our calendar,
Mhm.
everybody would know, okay, today's meeting or today's club meeting, they're gonna discuss something that's very interesting to me. I'm gonna make it a point to come to the meeting.
Right.
Or, hey, you know what? I don't wanna go to this meeting, I got other things to take care of. I'll go ahead and bypass it. So we gotta get a schedule. We need to set schedule, get it set up and get it rolling. That way people got a heads up what's going on.
Okay. I got an idea for next weekend.
I hate to ask. Go ahead.
Tom Spalding gave me a radio.
Well, those two radios.
So the one that is not, you can easily program it, you can go manually. I'll bring the radio in, I'll bring my car battery, we'll hook it up, and we're gonna read the book. I've got the book, and we're gonna, everybody get involved. Let's see if we can put a repeater on.
Sure.
And while we're doing something, explain what we're trying to do when the book says this. What this really means, George, is you're trying to, sometimes I learn better if somebody's trying to tell me what we're trying to accomplish by doing a certain step.
Sure.
I have better insights.
Is this radio got a lighter plug to it?
Well, he sent me the information on it. One of their, it's a mobile unit. One of the
Yeah.
mobile units is 25 watt and it's programmable by a computer. So we can program it with Chirp or whatever
Right.
software it's available. The other
Yeah, radio.
radio is by,
I have.
it's an older radio.
Yeah.
And you cannot program it through the computer. You got
Yeah.
to manually
Yeah. right.
program it. Yeah. And it's a mobile radio. So it's, gosh, for the life of me, I forgot the name brand. It's been around for a long time.
Let me see.
So, but yeah, I'll put that down. Programming George's radios. We'll do a class on that.
Okay. All right, we're good to go with this. Brainstorm ideas regarding club activities.
And Bill Barackle Point, I'm gonna put that down, membership.
Alinco.
Elenco, yeah, there we go.
Alinco.
Oh, Elinco.
DR 599Z.
They're good radios.
Yeah.
I mean, they are workhorses.
So what was?
Membership drive.
Oh, membership drive, okay. I've got one possible activity that's coming up here actually pretty quick. Just found out this last week that Claremont's starting their ham swap meet back up again.
Ooh.
Yes. Let's see, it's this month actually.
The better one is the one at Northrop.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I've not been to that one, but yeah.
I've not either. I've heard that it's one of the better swap meets.
Saturday, the 19th, from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m.
Are they gonna do it regular, monthly, or is it just
Yes,
weekly?
it starts back up there, regular monthly, third month, Saturday of the month. So it's at 1580 North Claremont Boulevard in Claremont.
I've never been to the swap meets.
I haven't either, but I've heard this one isn't too bad. Of course, just starting back up again, may not.
So what is it again? Nick?
It's a swap meet for ham radio swap meet.
Oh, cool.
So I was thinking about just taking a ride over there and seeing what's fun.
They had a swap meet over in Palm Springs, gosh, about 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
And they had a lot of vendors come in and they'll come in with their, a lot of people come in with their good equipment and try to sell it. So a lot of manufacturers come in.
yeah.
The different mountings and stuff like that, different antennas. In fact, this is an antenna that I got from one of from the one in Palm Springs. Looks like a rubber ducky, right?
Oh.
Cool.
Wow.
So it extends capability of the radio. I can't really tell the difference, but everybody says, "Oh yeah, it improves it." Okay.
That is basically what this is, but this is not extendable. You can see the one antenna here and then this antenna here.
Yeah.
And they could have done that, but it would cost more money to do that, so they just give you this fixed one that's twice as long as his.
The only thing that's kind of cumbersome with the longer antenna is
Right.
like if you put it in your pocket.
Yeah,
like,
right.
I was-
Well, that's
You
what
know.
happened. When I had it in my pocket, I was getting in closing the door.
Yeah, it gets caught.
It was caught in the door.
But this is the regular antenna that you
Yeah.
get when you first buy it. I mean, that's the size of that. And then if you want to extend it, you can extend it.
And you
Yeah, branch
extend
it
it
up.
when you go to a different band.
Right. Right now, this is set up for
2 meter
UHF.
versus 440.
Yeah. And then and it runs 440 and the 2 meter. But if you want better reception on your 2 meter, just pull it up.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Anyways, the swap meet's got stuff like that. They've got old radios. People
Yeah,
have
we got
old
all
radios.
kinds of stuff.
They're selling it at a cheap, amount. Some of them are guys that are trying to gouge you, but some others are pretty good.
Well, you can,
Or you come in with your own radio, Linko.
Is that
But you
right
can't-
downtown
Yeah.
Palm Springs? or-
No, this one is in Claremont. The one in Palm Springs, they don't do anymore.
They
Right.
were having them. I don't know if they were having it annually. I went with Tom
Well, of
Spalding
course,
to
it's too
the
hot out there.
to the Palm Springs Airport there.
Yeah, that's where I was.
Museum area.
Yeah, that's where I was.
they're just, that one's not on anymore. There's one other one, too, that's gone by the wayside, I guess, getting killed off by COVID, so. But, yeah, they're just.
The two that I know is the Montclair one and the one at Northrop over in, by the airport.
So,
Anyways, that's an activity.
At the Hawthorne Airport.
Is that the Hawthorne Airport? You can see from the freeway, this is the Northrop building. They got a runway there, but
From which freeway?
yeah.
105.
Yeah. But the freeway wasn't there when I worked there.
Yeah, exactly. It wasn't there when I was working out there either.
Okay, club signage, we got a little bit of a report from George this morning, so.
Can you reiterate what you,
Basically, the local place out here in Beaumont does not do. It's called Big Time over here on California Avenue, and they only do shirts or whatever. So the only place I found that would be, it's gonna be about $140 for one of these sale flag type things. And I had shown everybody maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, sort of a basic thing, and we just had to add a couple of extra little icons onto it there, along with the Solera Radio Group logo to it. So maybe by next week I could maybe do a couple more basic designs and throw them out to you and let you guys see what you want to add or do differently. And, you'll have your own idea on designs, what you like. I can just throw out a basic idea and you can toss and gore it all.
I had driven down Beaumont Avenue at 6th Street.
Yeah.
Right before the donut place.
Yeah.
Donut place caught my eye, but anyways,
Uh,
right next to it, there's a print shop there too. So I don't know. Has anybody ever used that place at all?
No, never.
I just know he used to be with the
Is that 6th and Highland?
print shop.
No,
on,
6th and, Beaumont.
California Street on the corner of California and 6th.
Yeah.
That print, he used to work for them.
Oh.
And he went, she went out of business and so he started them.
See, that's the one I was talking about. The one that was on 6th in California,
Yeah,
but that's out of business, he said. So
right.
that's different than the one that you went to. That's just doing shirts.
Big Time was over there right next to where they have very expensive RVs stored right next to
Yeah.
it right there. It's called Big Time right there. And they just do shirts.
I'm gonna try to bounce over here to the one in Beaumont and take a look at them too.
Where is this one in Beaumont?
Right there north of 6th Street. It's on the west side of the street, just about 2 buildings north of the donut shop. Everything revolves around food with me.
Yeah.
The donut shop being at,
Yum yum.
Yum Yum. It's on the corner of Beaumont and 6th Street.
Beaumont, okay, yeah, downtown Beaumont, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Not all the way on Highland Springs.
Right.
Because there's a donut shop over there also, that's what I was, okay.
Yum, yum.
I'm not quite sure where this one is yet. Oh, there is a print shop that's like a couple stores up.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's done a lot of my graphics when I needed something a certain size. I had done the artwork and then he printed out for me in the size I needed and whatever.
So you've been
Real
there?
Nice guy, and he sold the shop, I think, to somebody else. He was a Vietnamese or Korean, really nice fellow.
I don't know. I've never been there. I just happened to see it when we drove by the other day.
Yeah, right.
I said, I've got to drop in there. So I'll make it a point to drop over there and,
Okay.
and get an idea. The one thing I did notice, because I was pricing on the internet, the one company that I saw was like $88 for the sign.
Yeah, okay.
And then the stand was $150.
Well,
And
Bill
we
understand.
We could probably manufacture our own stand.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it.
Well, some
You
of
know?
these, they say will stick right into the ground.
Yeah, they
too.
have them
So it
that-
depends upon what you want to do.
Yeah, they have little stick into the ground, then they have them.
Well, if we have a meeting in here and we stick the flag, it's kind of hard to go into the crumble.
Yeah, that's-
No,
yeah.
it's inside here. Absolutely, I agree, yeah.
And, you know, all the work they've done on the tile and I'm kind of
Oh,
digging it
yeah.
out.
Yeah, we're power drill. What those things doing?
I was
Okay.
telling them I'd have a base, it's sort of like, it looks like the base on the fan there,
Yeah,
but it's cast iron, it weighs about 25 pounds.
oh yeah, that'd be good enough,
And I was playing around with like a 3/4 inch PVC.
right?
It doesn't quite fit. All you gotta do is grind that out a little bit,
Sure.
put a thread on the bottom, and I think it would hold, not in the wind, it wouldn't stand up, but.
You don't think so, 25 pounds?
25 pounds.
Yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
good.
but you got 6 or 7.
Yeah,
foot
the
on top
higher
of
it
that.
is, the more force there is gonna tip it over.
Yeah, it could,
Anyway, it's worth playing with a little bit.
if you're doing it outside.
I've got it with me in my.
I was gonna say, I've got a tripod that we don't use either. All we just need to do is get sandbags for it. So anyways, we don't need a stand
Oh, yes.
because we have all these different
I
ideas.
have a tripod that Joe gave me. I haven't used it. It's for like some, it's a metal aluminum for, I've got it in my closet.
We got a lot of ideas.
Actually, we've got those 2 antennas with tripods sitting in the case.
So there we go.
So I think we got the stand covered.
Yeah, stand's covered, just need the flag now. So that's the only issue. So
Okay.
we'll look around for prices on flags and everybody kind of submit a suggestion. You know what a feather flag is? Jack?
What?
A feather flag?
That's one of those.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, or
That's what we're planning
a sail type or whatever you call it.
and we're trying to figure out what we
And
should
who's
have.
making it for you?
We don't know. We're trying to
That's
find.
what we're just
They've
looking.
got 2 different types. They have the tall, narrow ones, which you call a feather. Then they have one that's like a teardrop.
Oh, yeah.
It's not quite as high. It's a little bit fatter around.
Yeah.
And that's called
Yeah,
a teardrop.
It kind of matches some of us. Looking at Bill, isn't that way? Or
Okay.
Jack.
Request for agenda items for the next meeting.
I already got one. I got one for programming.
Okay.
Okay, that's good.
If anybody thinks of anything before next meeting, I think.
Yeah, go ahead and bring your book for the general. Bring that along. And if we want to, if we want to peruse that for a few minutes
Yeah.
in the class, so that'd be great. Yes.
I was gonna suggest, for those of you who have stands or whatever, bring them next week.
Yes.
We can look at everything,
Okay, yeah, make a note to bring scans.
kind of look at everything and decide what we want to do.
Yeah.
I've got a real long, it's probably 7 foot wooden dowel. I don't remember buying the thing. I don't know what I bought it for. But it's like probably 3/4 of an inch. It could be used as a flag pole, maybe.
Well, I brought that up. We don't even have to go through one of these companies to make a flag for us. We can do it ourselves. I mean, the stand or the pole wise, still have to somebody make the actual flag. I got a sewing machine. I don't sew very well, but I have a sewing machine and we can actually, sew something together. But
Cool.
you got the wooden dowels and just put a cross beam this way, so you
Yeah,
gotta,
and I'll bring it.
and it comes down. So make our own.
I'll bring it. We'll just keep it here. 'Cause
Okay.
I might volunteer my wife for sewing if she does. She was raised sewing and helping her mother work in the sweatshops
Oh,
in
there you go.
downtown LA when she immigrated here. So
Wow.
I mean, you're
Yeah,
talking
give her
about,
permission to volunteer.
yeah, that's why I'm hesitating. I'm just saying maybe she would. She does.
it's kind of a simple sewing job too, I would think. So we could even design our own
Yeah.
without even going through paying out to somebody else. Although George did say he wanted to look sharp, he wanted us to be looking sharp.
Ounce of image is worth a pound of performance. If you're looking good, who cares?
Okay. All right. And create radio use training video.
But he's got his gear. I was suggested at the last meeting when we were doing our training with the, with Sam and Cassandra, that we do our own training video, have somebody demonstrate how to use and I didn't bring the radio, but I can use this radio, so.
Oh, okay, I brought the cameras, and we're not gonna do it today, okay.
No, you got the camera.
But,
My bad.
well, you would have to maybe get a radio from Cassandra or up front.
Well, I got one at home. I should have brought it.
Yeah.
Just as
If you wanna do it today, if you don't wanna do it today, we'll do it next week,
Okay.
put it on the agenda for next week.
You don't mind if we do it next week, or
No,
maybe,
no, that's fine, I'll just carry
maybe
it.
during the week when we can get together before.
Yeah, sure,
Okay.
whatever.
I feel bad. What I'd like to bounce some ideas on how we're gonna do that. Because I like to have a couple people involved. One demonstrating, talking, and the other demonstrating receiving the radio message and then responding. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
Well, I could, yeah.
That's
yeah.
something you're gonna have to edit into the,
No, it's just, I've got two camcorders.
what I have to do, what I'm saying is you do one person, he'll do the demonstration on
And
this.
then
Right.
and then have the other person
Right.
receive.
You film him and then you produce him
Oh,
in.
yeah, no, I.
And then I wanted to do a close-up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I do all that good stuff, absolutely. And then put nice little.
You want me to
light
draw-
music in the background that would be
No,
representative.
we don't want to put people to sleep.
No, but you wanna give a little bit of flow with, you want the body to pulse with the video.
I was thinking of maybe some Top Gun music in the background.
Here we go.
But I was looking at that, and then there's another video that I'll send you today. It's on the etiquette of using the radio, and the guys that made the video put a humorous touch to it, but it drove home the idea of how to use the radio, but it was geared for hotel management. How you talk to people, if the people receive the message, but it was pretty good. And I think we could do the same thing.
Yeah.
One being the actual, this is how the radio works, and then do another one on radio etiquette, where it's just us doing it. So I'll send you the video, and it's pretty good. I think we could do it. We could redo this video, remake of it, and have us actually participate.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's all in the editing. That's what it's all about.
Okay.
You can take pounds and pounds of video, but the guy that does the editing will be the guy that will make it distinguished.
Because I'll send you all the images to you, the diagrams and stuff like that. That way it'll be clear, because if you actually photograph the image or of the chart, it's not going to look very good. But if I give you the actual JPEG, you can put it into your.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. I know that you got Mac. I don't know if you can handle it or not.
George is pretty good.
Done deal. All right, for the good of the club.
I already got that.
You
That's
already got it?
we talked about the clubhouse retrofit. We talked about quality of craftsmanship and everything, and it deals with the good of the club, because we have to come in here and use this facility. So I'll use that as a good of the club
Okay.
for now, unless somebody else has something else. I'm even going to put a thing about dance floors.
Oh, cool.
Now, what?
What's that?
Dance floors.
That's-
We had a discussion on dance floors, the feeling of the floors and stuff like that.
Well, if you're looking for people to test dance floors, don't look to me.
I'm waiting to get back in there and line dance.
Do
How
not
about Carol?
dance.
Was it?
Yeah.
That's right. Bill would know. He is, yep.
You lay dance?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm the only,
Oh, yeah.
90% of the time, I'm the only male.
Oh,
in
yeah.
there.
I've always wanted to try it. My wife and I are both
Yeah.
clumsy, so.
No, just go to the ultra beginner and it's pretty easy.
It's funny because I see this one video and everybody's line dancing and you get the ones in the back that kept on running into each other. That's my wife and I. We're very coordinated.
It's,
Well, you
it's a
can,
lot of fun, I'll tell you that, 'cause I used to dance.
you can always tell the good dancers too. The good dancers are the ones that are always smiling, looking around. The other ones are very transfixed in front of them, looking in front to see what you're doing.
They're not enjoying it. It's too
Yeah,
much,
right, yeah,
it's
yeah.
work
Yeah,
more
yeah,
than
it's
pleasure.
work.
Yeah, that'd be me.
All right, if there's no other items to discuss,
Next meeting is the 18th, 9 o'clock, and next week we do the amateur,
FinCom,
our repeater.
yes.
And I was thinking of putting together a map, and having everybody deploy to a certain location on the map to test out.
Didn't we do that once?
Oh, we've
Yeah,
done
but we moved oh, you don't know this.
I don't
We, before the repeater was in my backyard. And my house is way down there. It's kind of sloped down. It's got a lot of
Right.
blockage. It's up here now.
Uh-huh.
So we got it set up in the closet here. You use the antennas way up here. So it's a lot higher and we got better reception.
Okay,
So,
so, well, so you want to deploy us at different locations?
yeah, well, if you guys got ideas on where we should check, I've got some general ideas like
Well, like I
that one
said, we
place.
had a map once.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but that was when we had the.
Oh,
computer graphics.
You know what we should do with the map too, is the altitude. On each spot we have, let's do the altitude. I've got that like right on my phone, right here. Altitude, where's the
That's a
altitude?
good idea.
It's, no, it's just, you wanna know where the low and high points are. Altimeter, cancel, I don't need that.
And the one spot
Okay,
that I,
we believe you.
and then one spot that I wanted was the, on Brentwood, right at the dip. You know, where it comes
Where the
down.
dip is.
I would think that would be a problematic area for us hitting the repeater. Anyways, give me some ideas where
Okay.
we should put somebody to test
We wanna
out.
keep 'em
Bill,
within-
Bill did a good job. He went all the way out to Oak Valley Drive, is that? Or-
Yeah.
At
Oak
Brookside,
View, On
Oakview.
Oakview,
Oakview
Oakview and Brookside.
Brookside. And we set up somebody over there. Yeah, he did a test and we did a pretty interesting test. We found out, just to reiterate, what happened was Bill was talking on the radio and moving the antenna in different directions to see what was the best reception. And he discovered that vertically up like this, and talking on the radio gave the best reception or gave the best signal to the repeater.
It wasn't
Perpendicular to
exactly
the antenna.
discovered, I confirmed that.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
that's-
Okay.
You did
The-
not
the
point it.
test that I
You not
did-
point it.
Yeah,
With Nick there
Right.
was
I was listening
really
in.
good with my Yagi. Because I mean, that confirmed everything, that the polarity does really is significant. there.
Polarity, yeah.
And the fact that the Yagi works a hell of a lot better than the
Yeah.
just
Oh, yeah.
the other antenna like that.
and you got that set up at home, it's permanent,
Pardon me?
that's a permanent.
No, it's I have the pole in my Hummer if you want to come out there and take a
Oh,
look,
really?
take a look at it.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
No, that's one of my issues now. If I had a place I could put it on my roof and raise it up when I want to
Yeah.
use it, but
Yeah.
no, I've got to stand there and,
Well, what you can do is put it on a tripod, one of those little tripods, and just up there.
yeah.
So, and it was homemade. It's a homemade
Yeah,
antenna.
I sort of read some of did you do some postings on email or Facebook or something? And you were asking, I saw something from you where you were asking about the Yagi and.
I don't know, there
Yeah,
may
we
have
had
been an
some
email
emails.
to somebody here.
Emails,
I
yeah.
think I did not.
Yeah.
No, I don't do social media, so.
Well, I actually lowered my antenna by 4 feet,
Lowered it
lowered it.
and the quality increased.
I haven't had any issues that I've detected
Why did you lower it?
because
Cessna came through was, go ahead.
it was actually up higher than the tree that I'm trying to blend into.
Yeah, right,
Mhm.
yeah.
So I took a 4-foot section out.
Oh, did you?
Back down.
So it's inside the tree itself?
It's, yeah, lined up right with the tree.
Yeah.
It's not, it's my neighbor's trees, and I got it on this side of the
Yeah.
fence.
Mhm.
So, but it's right up against it, and it's, now it's pretty hard to detect. You gotta be really looking for it. Yeah, I haven't had anything from management, so. Because they're supposed to be actively looking for things
Maybe I
like
should have
that.
took this off the recording, but okay.
I was reading something too, about the antenna restriction and everything. They came back like in 1969 or 1979, made the restriction or whatever, wherever, and such and such. And I think they were really based on very archaic type antennas.
Yep.
And they don't understand that these antennas we're using nowadays are not like in 1969 or
Right.
whatever. And they really need, the federal government needs to change the rules there on that, so an HOA cannot.
They've been trying that for years. They've been trying that for years. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
the
yeah,
parity
these
act.
senators can't seem to get it on the table, huh?
Parity Act.
They,
It's not
It's not a priority
Right.
for them.
but the one thing that I did find, there's a clause that talks about, as long as we use the equipment that we mount on our homes for emergency application for the good of the community,
Yeah.
we're allowed to do it. In actuality, since we are
Yeah.
affiliated with
Yeah.
with ARES, which is the emergency amateur radio emergency services.
Yep.
We are affiliated with them, so all our equipment is geared for emergencies. Sure, it's a hobby for us, but the equipment is geared for emergencies.
where does
So
it-
technically, we're allowed to.
Technically,
Where was that?
where's that printed?
Gotta find it again. It was on the ARRL magazine. I read it.
That would be interesting if you could locate it and email it to
Okay.
us as to where we can reference it, if it's a link.
And we talked about this before. We had talked about introducing this statute or this, I don't know what you would call it, but anyways, this idea or process or concept, we were talking about giving it to the board and to the
HOA.
HOA to let them know that this, we're allowed to do it, but why open the door to allow them to slam it on us? So
That's,
we had talked about, Nick and I had talked about, just have that section or that, the verbiage on it available. So if you do get challenged, you can produce this document to code enforcement coming out and citing you for it.
And, yeah. And.
It's an argument point.
And often too, it's my understanding, I read somewhere, I think all these rules and whatever, they're not etched in stone. They're supposed to be guidelines, is my understanding. And that's why they have, if you have an issue and you get called in for a court here or whatever, you can state it and they can give you a waiver or whatever. So it's very, very subjective.
yeah, I've already got my response planned out for if and when I do get any kind of notice.
Yeah.
I'll just stand in my backyard and throw my hand up and say, he's got one.
That's
Oh, thank you.
wrong.
Point to George's.
That's wrong.
I had my battle with the association when we moved in here. The yard was, the house had not been occupied for a year, so all along was dead and everything else. Well, I came from Yucca Valley. I wanted a drought tolerant landscape here. And they said, no, you can't. Well, there is a law passed and that says an association cannot prevent you from having drought tolerant plants. Now that's kind of a vague statement.
Yeah.
So I turned in the thing, but there's a rule here, you have to have at least
30%.
6, well, it was a
Yeah,
larger
6%.
number. It was like 60% green
Yeah.
lawn or something like that. But anyway, I went round and round with them.
Landscape to heart.
So I was the
Yeah.
second,
Yeah.
I was the second house that in here that had drought tolerant landscape. I have no lawn in front whatsoever. And now if you look around,
Oh,
there's people that have one cactus and all gravel, and they must have 0.1% coverage.
I got a carpet up front for grass.
Yeah, well, yes, a lot of people have
Oh, yeah.
synthetic, but.
No, you know.
But I get except for Ron Rader, I get 90% compliments on my on my landscape.
Yeah, no, you know,
Yeah,
they're
it
just
looks
talking
good.
about a water shortage today in the newspaper.
Oh, yeah. there's-
My
And
water bill
we're
is
still
so
in this
small.
drought right now. It's getting worse. And they say, Lake Havasu where the dam is,
Oh,
it's down another whatever.
Yeah,
I go,
yours looks great. My neighbor across the street
Oh,
looks
yeah.
like Sanford and something,
Yeah, yeah.
but not with metal, with just plants, and he never takes care of anything. It's just everywhere. So constantly letters going to the board or to, and they have to send him a letter, and he'll get out there maybe twice a year and get everything cut down. But they look good. Yours does.
Thank you.
Okay, I think we're gonna call for adjournment.
I'll second.
There we go.
Yeah, that was
He
quick.
said, "I'll move to adjourn."
Okay. Bill and Jack.
Done.
all right.
All right, gentlemen.
Well, it's good seeing everybody.
Good seeing you, Jack.
And I'm so
And-
happy that all you guys can see me. I'm alive.
Yeah.
And you know, at our age, it's good to be
Yeah.
seen.
I tell you, there were times, there was a few hours there, I wasn't sure I was gonna make it,
Wow.
Wow, Jack, yeah.
That's not good.
but,
Here goes somebody else again, going back out the
Well,
wrong way.
Jack,
You know, here we
I
need the
think-
wrong way
I
sign.
think they're not ready for you up there yet.
yeah,
So,
probably not.
They're saying, no, don't let it, not
Unless
yet.
it's blocked off down there because they're doing any kind of striping,
No,
maybe?
it could be. Yeah, they're doing striping all over the place.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Okay.
Um,
Somebody just hit.
Monday
Red
is
car out there. They just went by and they didn't even stop. Wow.
Monday is the regular now.
That little red one?
Yeah, a little red one.
Somebody
He just
decides to
left.
what,
He
you
didn't
got your
stop.
red car out here?
Mine's over there.
George, Bill,
Charge is trying.
George is trying to
I didn't hear it.
get,
I didn't
He's
hear it.
messing with you.
well, the last meeting